The envelope sat on the stone bench like an accusation. Ryan Whitmore stood frozen in his garden, the morning light casting long shadows across the perfectly manicured hedges. His phone buzzed incessantly in his pocket, but he could not move, could not breathe. The world around him had narrowed to a single point, that small white rectangle with his name written across it in shaky, childlike letters. Behind him, through the floor-to-ceiling windows of his Beverly Hills mansion, he could see them gathering, his publicist, his agent, two of his producers, all of them staring at their phones with the same expression of controlled panic. Someone was already pacing, someone else was yelling into a headset. The letter trembled in Ryan's hands. "Mr. Ryan, thank you for letting me work in your beautiful garden. I tried very hard to make you happy. I know the flowers were not right. I am sorry I could not do better. My mum always said different flowers make the world beautiful, but I understand you wanted them the same. I hope you find someone who can do it the way you like. Thank you again. Daniel." The words swam before his eyes. Simple, honest, devastating. Through the window, Ryan watched his publicist Miranda hold up her tablet, mouthing something urgent. He did not need to hear her to know what she was saying. The post had gone viral, 3 million views in 2 hours. The comments were already rolling in like a tsunami. Imagine being this cruel to someone just trying their best. "Ryan Whitmore is everything wrong with Hollywood. That poor kid. My heart is breaking." Ryan's chest tightened, his throat closed. For the first time in 20 years, tears threatened to break through the wall he had spent a lifetime building. But that was not the worst part. The worst part was that he deserved every word. His phone erupted with another cascade of notifications. Text messages, emails, missed calls from reporters he had once controlled with a single raised eyebrow. Now they smelled blood in the water. Now they wanted answers. Behind him, the glass door slid open with a soft hiss. "Ryan." Miranda's voice was tight, professional, barely concealing her fury. "We need to talk, right now." But Ryan could not turn around, could not face them. All he could see was Daniel's face the last time they had spoken. The way the young man's smile had faltered when Ryan made that joke. The way his shoulders had slumped when Ryan corrected him, again, in front of the landscaping crew. The way he had said so quietly, "Okay, Mr. Ryan, I will try harder." And Ryan had laughed. God help him. He had laughed. Now, standing in the garden Daniel had tended with such careful devotion, Ryan understood something with terrible clarity. He had broken something precious, something he might never be able to fix. The cameras would come soon, the interviews, the damage control, but none of that mattered anymore. Because 48 hours ago, Ryan Whitmore had been untouchable, a king in a kingdom of his own making. Now he was just a man holding a letter from someone he had failed, and the whole world was watching. But to understand how it all fell apart, we need to go back to the beginning, back to the moment when Ryan Whitmore's carefully constructed empire first began to crack. Back to the day Daniel walked through his garden gate. 72 hours earlier, Ryan Whitmore sat in his home office overlooking the infinity pool, signing contracts that would reshape the landscape of independent cinema. At 42, he had achieved what most producers only dreamed of: 3 Academy Award nominations, a distribution deal with a major streaming platform, and enough influence to greenlight projects with a single phone call. His mansion in Beverly Hills was not just a home, it was a statement. Every corner reflected his philosophy: precision, control, excellence without compromise. The minimalist furniture, all sharp angles and neutral tones. The art collection featuring only established names, never emerging artists. The security system that tracked every movement within a 3-block radius. And the garden. God, the garden. 2 acres of botanical perfection, roses arranged by color gradient, hedges trimmed to geometric precision, a koi pond with exactly 12 fish, no more, no less. Ryan had fired 3 landscaping companies before finding one that understood his vision. Symmetry was not negotiable. Beauty, he believed, required order. His assistant, Jennifer, knocked softly before entering. "The new gardener is here for the interview." Ryan did not look up from his laptop. "Send him in." "Actually," Jennifer hesitated, "I should mention something first. The agency said he has Down syndrome. His name is Daniel. He comes highly recommended, and he has been working in residential gardens for 3 years, but I wanted to give you a heads up before." Ryan's fingers stopped moving across the keyboard. He looked up slowly, his expression unreadable. You are telling me the agency sent someone with special needs to work on my property? His references are excellent. The Hendersons said he transformed there. The Hendersons have a cottage garden with wildflowers and chaos. I have standards. Ryan leaned back in his chair, arms crossed. This is a $7 million property. Every plant, every stone, every blade of grass is part of a specific design. I need someone who can follow precise instructions, not someone who needs constant supervision. Jennifer's jaw tightened almost imperceptibly. He is waiting in the garden. Maybe you could just meet him. Ryan exhaled sharply through his nose, the sound his father used to make when Ryan disappointed him, when he cried after his first fistfight, when he brought home a silver medal instead of gold. Weakness is a choice, Ryan. Winners do not make excuses. Fine, 5 minutes. But if he cannot handle the requirements, I am calling the agency myself. Daniel was kneeling by the rose beds when Ryan stepped onto the terrace. 23 years old, stocky build, wearing faded jeans and a green polo shirt with a small embroidered logo that read, "Blooming Futures Landscaping." His face lit up when he saw Ryan approaching, a smile so genuine and unguarded that it almost seemed foreign. "Mr. Ryan!" Daniel stood quickly, wiping dirt from his hands onto his jeans before extending one for a handshake. "Your garden is so beautiful. The roses are perfect. Are they hybrid teas? My mum loved roses." Ryan shook his hand briefly, noting the firmness of the grip, the calluses that spoke of real work. "They are. Do you know much about roses?" "I know they need lots of sun and good soil and love. My mum said plants grow better when you love them." Daniel's gaze drifted across the garden, his expression almost reverent. "This place must take so much love." Ryan blinked. "Love. What an absurd concept to apply to horticulture." "It takes precision," Ryan corrected. "Every plant is positioned according to a master plan. The watering schedule is automated and calibrated to the millimeter. I do not believe in improvisation. I believe in results." "Oh," Daniel nodded seriously. "Like a recipe. You follow the steps, and it comes out right." "Exactly." Ryan gestured toward the far end of the property. "The previous company left gaps in the western border. I need them filled with white hydrangeas exactly 18 inches apart. Can you handle that?" Daniel's smile wavered for just a moment. 18 inches exactly? "Exactly. Okay, I can do that." Daniel pulled a small notebook from his back pocket, the pages wrinkled and covered in careful handwriting. "I write everything down so I do not forget. White hydrangeas, 18 inches, western border." Ryan watched him write, noting the way Daniel's tongue poked out slightly in concentration, the way each letter was formed with painstaking care. Something in his chest twisted uncomfortably. His father's voice echoed in his memory. The weak drag everyone else down. "You want to be excellent? You stay away from people who settle for less." "Start Monday," Ryan said abruptly. 7 in the morning. Jennifer will give you the gate code. Do not be late." Daniel's face transformed. Pure joy. "Thank you, Mr. Ryan. Thank you so much. I promise I will work really hard. You will not be sorry." But as Ryan walked back into his air-conditioned fortress, he was already calculating how long this would last before he needed to find someone more capable. Someone who did not need instructions written down. Someone who understood excellence without it needing to be explained. He had built his entire life around a single principle: surround yourself with the best, and you become untouchable. Daniel, he was certain, would prove to be a temporary inconvenience. He had no idea how wrong he was. That weekend, Ryan hosted his monthly dinner party. 12 guests, all carefully selected from the upper echelons of the entertainment industry. Directors, writers, studio executives, the kind of people who could make or break careers with a single conversation. The evening unfolded with practiced elegance, catered by a Michelin-starred chef, wine from Ryan's private collection, each bottle worth more than most people's monthly rent. Conversation flowed smoothly from industry gossip to upcoming projects, everyone performing their role in the elaborate dance of Hollywood networking. Marcus Chen, a director Ryan had worked with on 3 films, stood on the terrace with a whiskey, gazing at the illuminated garden. "You have got to tell me who does your landscaping. This is perfection." Ryan joined him, a slight smile playing at his lips. "Actually, I just hired someone new, starts Monday." "Anyone I know?" "Doubtful. He is with some small agency. Blooming Futures. Never heard of them. But if they can maintain this," Marcus gestured at the geometric precision of the hedges, "they are worth every penny." Ryan took a sip of his drink. "We will see. He is unconventional." "Unconventional how?" The pause that followed was barely perceptible, but it was there. Ryan's hesitation, the calculation behind his eyes. "He has Down syndrome," Ryan said finally, his tone carefully neutral. Marcus turned to look at him. "Seriously? The agency sent him. He came highly recommended." Ryan shrugged. "I'm giving him a chance." "That is generous of you." Marcus's voice carried a note of something that might have been approval or pity. Ryan could not quite tell. "I believe in giving people opportunities," Ryan said, the words sounding hollow even to his own ears. Inside, through the glass, he could see his guests laughing at something someone said. Comfortable, successful, winners. His father's voice whispered again, "You are known by the company you keep. Never forget that." Monday morning arrived with typical Los Angeles sunshine. Ryan was on a conference call when he noticed movement in the garden. Daniel had arrived precisely at 7, wearing the same green polo and carrying a worn backpack. He moved through the space with surprising care, touching leaves gently, examining the soil, his expression serious and focused. By noon, Ryan had forgotten about him entirely, lost in the chaos of pre-production meetings for his next film. It was not until late afternoon, when he stepped outside for some air, that he saw what Daniel had done. The hydrangeas were planted, but they were not 18 inches apart. They were roughly 20 inches, maybe 22 in some places. The spacing was inconsistent, organic, almost natural. Ryan's jaw clenched. He pulled out his phone and called Jennifer. "Get the gardener. Now." 5 minutes later, Daniel appeared on the terrace, his face flushed from the heat, dirt under his fingernails. "Yes, Mr. Ryan?" Ryan pointed at the border. "I said 18 inches. Those are not 18 inches. Daniel squinted at the plants, then looked down at his feet as if measuring the distance in his mind. I tried to measure. I used my arms. Like this," he demonstrated, stretching his arms to show the approximate distance. "But maybe my arms are not exactly 18 inches. You do not measure with your arms, Daniel. You use a tape measure, which I assumed you would know." "Oh," Daniel's shoulders slumped. "I am sorry. I did not think about that. I can fix it. I can move them." Ryan exhaled sharply. "Moving them will damage the root systems. They need to settle. Just use a tape measure next time. It is not complicated." "Okay, I will. I am really sorry, Mr. Ryan." As Daniel walked away, shoulders hunched, Ryan felt a flicker of something uncomfortable in his chest. Guilt, maybe, or frustration. He could not tell the difference anymore. That night, during a video call with his executive producer, Tanya, Ryan mentioned the incident casually. "I swear finding competent help these days is impossible." "What happened?" Tanya asked, barely looking up from her own laptop. "New gardener measured hydrangea spacing with his arms instead of a tape measure. Like a child. Fire him." "I would, but the agency has a waiting list. And honestly, it is not worth the hassle of starting over." Ryan leaned back in his chair. "Besides, he has Down syndrome. Can you imagine the optics if I let him go after one mistake?" Tanya finally looked at the camera. "You hired someone with Down syndrome to work on your property. Ryan, what were you thinking?" "I was being charitable." "You hate charity." "Exactly." Ryan smiled without humor. "But apparently I am supposed to be a better person now. Inclusive, compassionate, all those things people pretend to care about on social media. Just do not let it become a problem. You have too much at stake right now with the Netflix deal." After the call ended, Ryan stood at his bedroom window looking down at the garden. In the moonlight, the inconsistent spacing of the hydrangeas was barely visible. Probably no one else would even notice, but he noticed, and that was what mattered. Excellence was not negotiable. It never had been. His father had taught him that. His first week passed in a series of small failures. Daniel planted marigolds where Ryan wanted petunias. He watered the succulents too much, causing root rot in 3 expensive specimens. He left the garden hose coiled in the wrong direction, creating a kink that Ryan discovered when the automatic sprinkler system malfunctioned at 2 in the morning. Each mistake was small. Individually, they meant nothing. Together, they became a mounting source of irritation that Ryan could not ignore. On Thursday afternoon, Ryan hosted a lunch meeting with 2 studio executives. They sat on the terrace, discussing distribution strategies while Daniel worked in the background, trimming the ornamental grasses near the koi pond. Ryan was mid-sentence when he noticed Daniel pause, staring at something in the water. The young man's face broke into a delighted smile. "Mr. Ryan," Daniel called out, "there is a baby fish. I think one of your koi had a baby." The executives turned to look. Ryan's face flushed with embarrassment. "Daniel, we are in a meeting. Please keep your voice down." "Oh, sorry." Daniel's smile faded, but he kept glancing back at the pond. "But it is really small and orange and—" "Daniel." Ryan's voice dropped to the tone he used when firing people. "Work quietly, please." The young man nodded quickly, returning to his task with his shoulders slightly hunched. One of the executives, a woman named Catherine, watched the exchange with an unreadable expression. After Daniel moved out of earshot, she said softly, "Is he okay?" "He is fine, just easily distracted." "No, I mean," Catherine hesitated. "He seems sweet. Is he your nephew or something?" Ryan nearly laughed. "He is the gardener. The agency sent him." "Oh," Catherine's expression shifted to something like pity. "That is nice that you gave him a job. Not many people would." The implication was clear. Ryan was being charitable, noble, a good person for hiring someone society deemed less capable. He should have felt proud. Instead, he felt vaguely nauseous. That evening, after the executives left, Ryan found himself standing by the koi pond. There was indeed a baby fish, tiny and golden, darting between the lily pads. Daniel had been right to be excited. It was the first baby born in the pond in 3 years. But Ryan had silenced him, embarrassed him in front of strangers. He deserved it, his father's voice reminded him. "You cannot let people walk all over you, not even the weak ones, especially not the weak ones." Ryan went inside without looking back. The incident at the dinner party happened on Saturday night. Ryan had invited 8 people, all key players in his current film project. The evening was critical. Negotiations were at a delicate stage, and he needed everyone relaxed, confident, ready to commit to the budget increases his director was demanding. Everything was perfect. The food, the wine, the lighting. Until Marcus asked about the garden again. "I am serious, Ryan. This space is incredible. You should do a feature in Architectural Digest. The symmetry alone—" "Actually," Ryan interrupted, "the symmetry is not quite there yet. My new gardener is still learning." "The guy from that agency?" Marcus refilled his wineglass. "How is that working out?" Ryan glanced toward the garden, where Daniel had been working earlier that day. The young man had asked permission to plant some wildflower seeds in the empty corner behind the shed. Ryan had said yes without really listening, too focused on his phone. "It is fine. He is enthusiastic, I will give him that." "But," Tanya prompted, sensing the unfinished thought. Ryan set down his glass. "But there is a difference between enthusiasm and competence. He tries hard, sure, but trying is not the same as succeeding." "Give him time," Catherine suggested. "Maybe he just needs more training." "Catherine," the man tried to measure plant spacing with his arms. Ryan smiled, expecting laughter. He got it, a ripple of amused chuckles around the table. Encouraged, Ryan continued. "Last week, he deadheaded the roses by pulling the entire bloom off instead of cutting at the stem. I had to explain that you need to use pruning shears. He looked at me like I had handed him instructions for nuclear fusion." More laughter. Louder this time. Marcus leaned in. "Does he talk to the plants? Please tell me he talks to the plants." "Constantly. Full conversations. Yesterday I heard him apologizing to a fern for putting it in too much shade." The table erupted. Someone nearly spat out their wine. Tanya was wiping tears from her eyes. And Ryan felt the warmth of their approval wash over him like sunlight. This was why he had worked so hard. This was why he had built this life. To be at the center of the circle, to make the successful people laugh, to be untouchable. "But honestly," Ryan said, riding the wave, "I keep him around because it makes me look good. Hire the special needs kid. Get points for being progressive. You cannot buy that kind of PR." The laughter died. Just a little. Just enough. Catherine's smile had frozen on her face. Ryan, "What? I am kidding." He refilled his glass. "Mostly." But the moment had shifted. The ease had cracked. And though the dinner continued, though they all went back to discussing budget and distribution, something had changed. Ryan felt it but did not understand it. Not yet. On Monday morning, Daniel arrived at the garden with something new, a small potted plant wrapped in newspaper. Ryan was checking emails on the terrace when he noticed the young man approaching, nervous but determined. "Mr. Ryan, I brought you something." Ryan looked up, mildly annoyed at the interruption. "Daniel, you do not need to bring me gifts. I pay you to work, not to—" "It is not a gift, not really." Daniel set the pot on the table carefully. "It is a thank you for letting me work here." Ryan looked at the plant. It was a small succulent, nothing special, the kind you could buy at any hardware store for $5. That is thoughtful, but unnecessary. My mum used to say that when someone is kind to you, you should be kind back. Daniel's smile was shy now, uncertain. You gave me this job when other people said I could not do it, so I wanted to give you something to show I am grateful. Ryan stared at the succulent. Its leaves were dusty. The pot was cracked on one side. $5, he thought. If that. Thank you, Daniel, that is very kind. You are welcome. Daniel's whole face lit up. I hope you like it. Succulents are easy to take care of. You do not have to worry about them too much. After Daniel left, Ryan sat looking at the plant for a long moment. Then he picked it up, walked to the kitchen, and placed it on the windowsill where Jennifer kept the other random items that accumulated in the house, next to expired coupons and takeout menus. Out of sight. Forgotten. But Daniel did not forget. Every few days he asked about the plant. Is your succulent doing okay, Mr. Ryan? Does it need water? And every time, Ryan lied. It is fine. Thriving, actually. The truth was, Ryan had not thought about it at all. Until the Wednesday afternoon when Jennifer mentioned it casually. By the way, I threw out that dead plant from the kitchen windowsill. The little succulent? It was completely dried out. Ryan had been signing paperwork. His pen stopped mid-signature. When? This morning, why? No reason. But for the rest of the day, Ryan felt an uncomfortable tightness in his chest. A nagging sense that he had done something wrong, even though it was just a plant. Just a cheap, meaningless gesture from someone who did not know any better. That evening, Daniel asked again, "How is the succulent, Mr. Ryan?" And Ryan heard himself say, "Great, growing beautifully." The lie came so easily. Daniel beamed. "I am so glad. My mum always said plants know when you care about them." Ryan turned away before the young man could see his face. The cracks in Ryan's foundation were spreading, slow but inevitable. He snapped at Jennifer over minor scheduling conflicts. He sent 3 different writers into rewrites because their scripts were not emotionally resonant enough. He cancelled a meeting with his therapist for the 4th time, ignoring her gentle reminder that avoidance was not the same as healing. And in the garden, Daniel kept working. The hydrangeas that had been planted wrong, they were blooming beautifully, their irregular spacing creating a natural, flowing border that actually looked better than Ryan's rigid design. The wildflower seeds Daniel had planted without permission, they had grown into a small explosion of color behind the shed, attracting butterflies and bees, bringing life to a corner that had been dead space. Every mistake Daniel made seemed to accidentally improve something, and that made Ryan hate him just a little bit more. The breaking point came on a Friday afternoon. Ryan had just finalized the Netflix deal, 8 months of negotiation, culminating in a contract that would secure his financial future for the next decade. He was celebrating with Marcus and Tanya on the terrace when Daniel emerged from the side garden, pushing a wheelbarrow full of weeds. He was humming, some tuneless, happy sound that grated on Ryan's nerves like sandpaper. "Hey," Marcus called out, "you are the gardener, right? Ryan says you are doing a great job." Daniel stopped, surprised and pleased. "Thank you. I am trying really hard. Mr. Ryan has the most beautiful garden I have ever seen. Must be tough keeping up with his standards." Marcus grinned. "I have known Ryan for 10 years. The man is a perfectionist." "That is okay. Perfection is good." Daniel nodded seriously. "My mum used to say, do your best and that is enough, even if your best is different from other people's best." Tanya laughed, not unkindly. "That is a nice philosophy. Thank you. My mum was very smart." Daniel's expression softened. "She died last year, but I still try to do what she taught me." The terrace went quiet. Ryan felt everyone's eyes on him, waiting for his response, waiting for him to say something kind, something human. But all he could think was, "Please, stop talking. Please just leave." "Daniel," he said, his voice tight, "do not you have work to finish?" The young man blinked. "Oh, yes. Sorry. I will go." He pushed the wheelbarrow away. The humming stopped. Marcus and Tanya exchanged a glance. "That was cold," Tanya said softly. He was interrupting. He was being sweet. He just lost his mother, Ryan. And that is tragic. But I do not pay him to share his life story. I pay him to maintain my garden. Ryan stood abruptly. "Excuse me. I need to make a call." He went inside, closing the glass door firmly behind him. Through the window, he could see Daniel in the distance, still pushing the wheelbarrow, his shoulders slumped in a way that made Ryan's chest ache. Weakness is a choice. But whose weakness was he seeing? Daniel's or his own? The post went live on a Tuesday morning at 7:38. Ryan was in a breakfast meeting at Soho House when his phone started buzzing. Text messages, notifications, email alerts piling up so fast the device heated in his pocket. He ignored them. Whatever it was, Jennifer would handle it. But when Marcus texted, "Call me right now," Ryan excused himself from the table. "What is going on?" he demanded. Marcus's voice was strained. "You need to see this. Your neighbor posted something on Facebook. It is spreading." Ryan felt his stomach drop. What did she post? "Just look, I am sending you the link." The post loaded slowly, agonizingly. When it finally appeared, Ryan's world tilted. There was a photo, a close-up of an envelope, and on that envelope, in careful, trembling handwriting, "Mr. Ryan." "Oh God," Ryan whispered. Beneath the photo, the caption read, "Found this in the garden next door. The sweet young man with Down syndrome who works there left it before disappearing. My heart is breaking. How do people like Ryan Whitmore sleep at night?" The letter itself was in the comments. Someone had transcribed every word. "Mr. Ryan, thank you for letting me work in your beautiful garden." Ryan stopped reading. He could not breathe, could not think. The comments section was already filling up. Hundreds of them. Thousands. "This is disgusting. That poor kid tried so hard and got treated like trash. Ryan Whitmore should be ashamed. I hope karma destroys this man." Ryan scrolled, his hands shaking. Every comment was a knife. Every share twisted it deeper. Someone had found Daniel's mother's obituary and posted it. His mom died of cancer, and he still showed up to work with a smile. Meanwhile, Ryan Whitmore mocked him at dinner parties. How did they know about the dinner parties? Then he saw it. A comment from someone named Catherine, writes 47. "I was at one of those dinner parties. I watched Ryan mock this young man to get laughs. It was cruel. I should have said something. I regret not speaking up." Catherine, the studio executive. She had been there. She had heard everything. Ryan's phone rang. Miranda, his publicist. "Do not say anything," she said before he could speak. "Not a word to anyone. I am already getting interview requests from 15 outlets. TMZ has a crew outside your house. This is a Category 5 crisis, Ryan. It was just a joke. I was kidding around with friends. I do not care if you were kidding or not. The entire internet thinks you are a monster. We need a strategy. Meet me at your house in 20 minutes. And Ryan, turn off your social media. Do not read the comments. Do not engage. Just come home." But Ryan could not stop reading. Someone had created a hashtag, Justice for Daniel. It was trending. #3 nationwide. A parody account had sprung up called Ryan Whitmore is Trash. It had gained 40,000 followers in 2 hours. Someone started a GoFundMe to help Daniel find a better employer. It was already over $18,000. And through it all, one question kept appearing, over and over. Where is Daniel? Ryan's house was under siege. 3 news vans were parked on the street. Photographers lined the sidewalk. A small crowd of protesters had gathered by his gate, holding signs. "Dignity. For all workers, Down syndrome is not a punchline. Ryan Whitmore. Apologize." Jennifer met him at the side entrance, her face pale. "Miranda is in your office. She said no one leaves until we have a plan." The war room meeting lasted 4 hours. Miranda, Jennifer, his lawyer, his agent, and Tanya all gathered around Ryan's dining table, throwing out strategies like generals planning a siege. "Full apology," Miranda said. "Immediate. We draft something heartfelt, post it across all platforms, and you do a video. A video makes him look desperate," his lawyer countered. "Written statement only. Keep it brief. Express regret, wish Daniel well, move on." "He needs to find Daniel first," Tanya argued. "If he apologizes without even knowing where the kid is, it looks hollow." "Then we find him," Miranda said. "Someone must know where he went. Family, friends." Ryan sat at the head of the table, silent. Around him, these people, his team, his allies, debated his life like it was a script they could edit into something palatable. But none of them were asking the right question. None of them were asking, was it true? "Ryan," Miranda snapped her fingers in front of his face. "Are you listening? We need you engaged here." "I am engaged." "Then tell me, do you feel bad about what you did?" The room went quiet. Everyone stared at him. And Ryan realized with horrible clarity that he did not know how to answer. Did he feel bad? Yes. But was it guilt? Or was it just anger at being caught? "Of course I feel bad," he said finally. "I never meant to hurt him." "But you did hurt him," Jennifer said softly. It was the first time she had spoken since the meeting began. "You mocked him. You made him feel worthless, and when he tried to give you a gift, you let it die. Ryan's head snapped toward her. How do you know about the plant? Because I threw it away, Ryan, and I saw your face when I mentioned it. You forgot about it completely. That $5 succulent was probably the most meaningful thing Daniel owned, and you could not even keep it alive for a week. The words hit like a punch. Marcus leaned back in his chair, rubbing his face. Jennifer is right. This is not just about PR, this is about who you are. I know who I am. Do you? Tanya's voice was sharp. Because the man I worked with for 5 years would never have treated someone like that. The man I knew had empathy. He cared about people. What happened to him? Ryan stood abruptly, the chair scraping against the floor. What happened? I will tell you what happened. I built this. He gestured at the house, the view, the empire surrounding them. I clawed my way to the top of an industry that chews people up and spits them out. I made myself untouchable, and I did it by never showing weakness, by never letting anyone see me fail. And Daniel? Jennifer asked. Was he a failure, or just an inconvenience? Ryan could not answer, because the truth was too ugly to say out loud. That night, alone in his bedroom, Ryan read the letter again. Thank you for letting me work in your beautiful garden. I tried very hard to make you happy. He remembered Daniel's face the first day, that open, trusting smile, the way he had touched the roses with such reverence. I know the flowers were not right. I am sorry I could not do better. The hydrangeas, the irregular spacing that Ryan had obsessed over, that Daniel had apologized for, that now looked more beautiful than anything Ryan had ever designed. My mum always said different flowers make the world beautiful, but I understand you wanted them the same. Ryan's throat tightened. Different flowers make the world beautiful, but Ryan had spent his entire life trying to make everything the same, controlled, perfect, untouchable, and in doing so, he had become exactly like his father. The realization hit him like a freight train. His father, who had mocked Ryan's sensitivity as weakness, who had punished him for crying, for caring, for showing anything that resembled vulnerability, who had taught him that excellence meant cruelty, that strength meant isolation, that love was a liability. Ryan had spent 42 years running from that man, and he had turned into him anyway. He looked at his phone. The comments were still coming, the hashtag still trending, the world still baying for his blood, but none of it mattered, because somewhere out there, Daniel was gone, and it was Ryan's fault. I hope you find someone who can do it the way you like. Ryan set the phone down and buried his face in his hands. For the first time in 20 years, he wept. Morning came too quickly. Ryan woke on the floor of his bedroom, still dressed in yesterday's clothes, his eyes swollen and raw. Sunlight streamed through the windows he had forgotten to close, illuminating the dust particles floating in the air like tiny accusations. His phone showed 237 unread messages. He ignored them all. Instead, he stood at the window looking down at the garden Daniel had tended. In the early light, it looked different somehow, softer. The irregular spacing of the hydrangeas created a rhythm that felt alive rather than rigid. The wildflowers behind the shed swayed in the breeze, their colors almost heartbreakingly vibrant. Daniel had left beauty behind, and Ryan had left only wreckage. He showered, dressed in jeans and a plain t-shirt, clothes he had not worn in years, and went downstairs. Jennifer was already in the kitchen, making coffee with the grim efficiency of someone preparing for battle. The press is still outside, she said without preamble. Miranda wants you to release a statement by noon. Your agent called 6 times, and someone left flowers at your gate with a note that says, and I quote, "You are a disgrace to humanity." Ryan poured himself coffee with shaking hands. I need to find him. Jennifer looked up sharply. Daniel, I need to find him and apologize. Not for the cameras, not for PR. I need to tell him that I'm sorry. Ryan, Miranda said. I do not care what Miranda said. Ryan's voice was quiet but firm. For once in my life, I am going to do the right thing, even if it costs me everything. Jennifer studied him for a long moment. Then she pulled out her phone. The landscaping agency might have his information. Emergency contact. Maybe family. Call them. 20 minutes later, they had a name. Maria Santos, Daniel's aunt. She lived in Riverside, about an hour east of Los Angeles. Ryan grabbed his car keys. You are really going? Jennifer asked. I have to. The press will follow you. Let them. But as Ryan opened the garage door, he found Marcus standing there, arms crossed, looking exhausted. I figured you would try to run, Marcus said. Mind if I come with you? Ryan blinked. Why would you want to? Because I was there, at that dinner party. I laughed at your jokes. I did not say anything when I should have. Marcus's jaw tightened. We all failed that kid, Ryan, but you are the only one brave enough to try and fix it. So let me help. Ryan felt something crack in his chest. Okay. They took Marcus's car to avoid the press. As they pulled out of the driveway, cameras flashed, reporters shouted questions, but Ryan kept his eyes forward. The drive to Riverside was quiet at first. The morning traffic on the 10 freeway crawled and stopped, giving Ryan too much time to think. I do not know what to say to him, Ryan admitted finally. Marcus kept his eyes on the road. The truth, that is all you can say. What if he does not forgive me? Then he does not forgive you, but at least you tried. Ryan watched the city give way to suburbs, the suburbs to industrial zones, the landscape flattening and browning as they moved inland. Somewhere out here, Daniel was trying to rebuild his life after Ryan had shattered it. Tell me something, Marcus said. When did you become so afraid? Ryan turned to look at him. What? You heard me. You were not always like this. When I first met you, you cared about the work, about telling stories that mattered. You took risks, you believed in things. Marcus glanced at him. Now you only believe in control. When did that happen? Ryan was silent for a long moment. Then he said, My father told me something when I was 12. I had just lost a science fair, came in second place. I was crying in the car and he pulled over and made me look at him. He said, Ryan, the world does not reward people who cry. It rewards people who win. And if you want to survive, you need to be harder than everyone else, stronger, untouchable. And you believed him. I became him. Ryan's voice cracked. I spent 30 years building walls so high that nothing could hurt me. And I was so proud of those walls, until I realized I had trapped myself inside them. Marcus pulled off the freeway, following the GPS directions into a modest residential neighborhood. Small houses with chain-link fences, children's bikes in driveways, a completely different world from Beverly Hills. That is it, Marcus said, pointing. 2417. The house was pale yellow with a small front porch. Wind chimes hung from the eaves, tinkling softly in the breeze. A vegetable garden grew in neat rows beside the driveway. Ryan's heart hammered as they walked to the door. A woman in her 50s answered, her expression wary. Can I help you? Are you Maria Santos? Daniel's aunt? Her eyes narrowed. Who are you? My name is Ryan Whitmore. I am the person who... His voice failed. I am the person who hurt your nephew, and I need to see him. I need to apologize. Maria's face hardened. You have some nerve coming here. I know. I know I do not deserve... Daniel cried for 2 days after he left your house. 2 days. Do you know what that does to someone like him? He does not understand cruelty. He does not understand why people would want to hurt him. Maria's voice shook with rage. He gave you everything he had. His time, his effort, his heart, and you threw it away. Ryan's eyes burned. You are right. About all of it. And I cannot undo what I did. But I need to tell him I am sorry. Please. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just need him to know that he was not wrong. That the failure was mine, not his. Maria studied him for a long moment. Behind her, Ryan could hear voices inside the house. A television. Someone laughing. He is not here, Maria said finally. Ryan's heart sank. Where is he? He took a bus yesterday. To Bakersfield. Our mother is buried there. Daniel's grandmother. He goes every year on her birthday to bring flowers. Maria crossed her arms. He did not want to go this year. Said he failed and did not deserve to visit her. But I made him go anyway. Told him she would want to see him, no matter what. When does he come back? Tomorrow evening. But Mr. Whitmore, Maria's voice dropped. If you hurt him again, I do not care how rich you are. I do not care how powerful. I will make sure the whole world knows exactly what kind of man you really are. I understand. As they walked back to the car, Marcus said, So what now? Ryan pulled out his phone and searched for bus schedules to Bakersfield. Now I go find him. Ryan, it is a 3-hour drive. Then I better leave now. The Greyhound station in Bakersfield was nearly empty when Ryan arrived just before sunset. He had driven alone, insisting that Marcus go home. This was something he needed to do himself. Inside the station, fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. A handful of travelers sat on plastic chairs, staring at phones or sleeping awkwardly against their luggage. The air smelled like stale coffee and industrial cleaner. Ryan bought a sandwich from a vending machine and sat down to wait. Hours passed. The station emptied further. An elderly woman mopped the floors with slow, methodical strokes. Outside, the sky deepened from orange to purple to black. Ryan's phone buzzed constantly. Miranda, his lawyer, reporters who had somehow gotten his number. He silenced them all. At 9:42, a bus pulled into the bay. Ryan stood, his heart racing. Passengers filed off slowly. A young mother with 2 children, an elderly man with a cane, a teenager with enormous headphones, and then Daniel. He was carrying a small backpack and a plastic grocery bag. His face looked tired, sad, older somehow than it had just days ago. He did not see Ryan at first. He walked toward the exit, head down, shoulders hunched. "Daniel," Ryan called softly. The young man froze, turned slowly. His eyes widened. "Mr. Ryan?" "Hi." Ryan's voice came out rough. "Can we talk?" Daniel looked confused, then frightened. "Am I in trouble? Did I do something else wrong?" "No. God, no." Ryan stepped closer. "You did not do anything wrong. I did. And I came here to tell you that." Daniel glanced around the empty station, clearly trying to process this impossible situation. "You came all the way here? To Bakersfield?" "Yes." "Why?" Ryan felt tears threatening again. "Because I owe you an apology, a real one, and I needed to give it to you in person." Daniel clutched his backpack straps. "You do not have to apologize. I know I was not good enough. I tried really hard, but I kept messing up and—" "Stop." Ryan held up a hand. "Please, just listen for a minute, okay?" Daniel nodded slowly. Ryan took a breath. "You were not the one who messed up. I was. Everything you did in my garden, the hydrangeas, the wildflowers, the way you cared for every plant like it mattered, all of it was beautiful, but I was so obsessed with control, with perfection, with making everything fit my exact vision, that I could not see what was right in front of me. But the spacing was wrong, and I killed those succulents, and the spacing was perfect. It was better than what I designed, and the succulents died because I did not water them, not because of anything you did." Ryan's voice broke. "Daniel, you brought life to my garden. You brought joy, and I repaid you with cruelty." Daniel's eyes were wide, glistening. "You were not cruel. You wanted things a certain way. That is okay." "No, it is not okay. I made fun of you. I embarrassed you in front of my friends. I treated you like you were less than me because of something you could not control. And that was not okay. That was the opposite of okay." A tear rolled down Daniel's cheek. "But I am less than you. Everyone knows that. I have Down syndrome. I am slow. I mess things up." "Stop." Ryan stepped closer, his own tears falling now. "You are not less than anyone. You are kinder than anyone I know. You see beauty where other people see imperfection. You give your whole heart to everything you do. Those are gifts, Daniel, and I was too broken to recognize them." Daniel wiped his face with the back of his hand. "I do not understand. Why are you broken? You have everything." Ryan laughed, a wet, broken sound. "I have nothing that matters. I have money and success and a house full of things I do not care about, but I do not have what you have. I do not have the ability to love without shame, to see the good in people, to forgive. Is that why you came here, to ask me to forgive you?" "No." Ryan shook his head. "I came here to tell you that you were right. Your mother was right. Different flowers do make the world beautiful, and I am sorry it took me 42 years and a hashtag to figure that out." Daniel stared at him for a long moment. Then, slowly, his face crumpled. "I miss my mom," he whispered. "I know. She would have been sad about what happened. She would have said I should be kind to you anyway. Your mother sounds like she was an incredible person." "She was." Daniel wiped his eyes again. "She used to say that everyone is carrying something heavy. We just cannot always see it." Ryan felt something shift in his chest. She was right about that too. They stood there in the empty bus station, 2 broken people trying to find their way back to something like wholeness. Finally, Daniel said, "Do you really think the hydrangeas looked good?" Ryan smiled through his tears. "They looked perfect. And the wildflowers? They were my favorite part of the whole garden." Daniel's face brightened just a little. "Really? Really? In fact, I was hoping—" Ryan hesitated. "I was hoping maybe you would come back. Not as my employee, as my teacher. Because I clearly have no idea how to make a garden actually beautiful." Daniel's eyes widened. "You want me to teach you? If you will. I understand if you do not want to. I would not blame you, but I am asking anyway." Daniel looked down at his shoes, at the worn linoleum floor. At the plastic bag in his hand containing, Ryan now saw, a single wilted rose. "I brought this for my grandma's grave," Daniel said quietly. "But I was too late. The cemetery was closed when I got there, so I could not give it to her." Ryan's throat tightened. "I am sorry. It is okay. I will go back tomorrow before I leave." Daniel looked up. "Do you want to come with me? To the cemetery?" The question hung in the air between them. Ryan thought about his schedule, the crisis meetings, the press conferences. the career that was currently imploding in spectacular fashion. "Yes," he said, "I would like that very much." They spent the night in a cheap motel off Highway 99, in rooms that cost $48 each and smelled faintly of cigarette smoke and pine-scented cleaner. Ryan could not remember the last time he had stayed somewhere without a concierge service. He could not remember the last time he had cared so little about comfort. At dawn, they drove to the cemetery in Ryan's rental car. The morning was cool and still, fog clinging to the central valley like a blanket. Daniel directed him through quiet streets lined with old houses and older trees until they reached a simple gate with a sign that read Valle Verde Memorial Park. Daniel led him through rows of headstones, moving with the confidence of someone who knew this path by heart. Finally, he stopped in front of a modest marker made of grey granite. Carmen Elena Santos, beloved mother, daughter, sister, 1968, 2024. She loved with her whole heart. Daniel knelt and placed the wilted rose against the stone. "Hi, Mama. I am sorry I did not come yesterday. The bus was late and I messed up again." His voice was soft, intimate. "But I brought someone to meet you. His name is Mr. Ryan. He is trying to be better, like you always said people could be." Ryan stood a few feet back, feeling like an intruder on something sacred. But Daniel turned and gestured him closer. "You can say hi if you want. She does not mind. She liked meeting new people." Ryan stepped forward, his throat tight. He looked at the stone, at the dates that spanned such a short life, at the words that captured everything that mattered. "Hello, Carmen," he said quietly. "I'm sorry I did not get to meet you when you were alive. Your son he is extraordinary. You did an incredible job raising him, and I'm sorry I was too stupid to see it right away." Daniel smiled. "She says it is okay. Sometimes people need time to understand things." "She told you that?" "No, but I know she would say it. She always believed people could change if they wanted to." Daniel touched the stone gently. "She used to tell me that having Down syndrome was not something to be sad about. She said God made me exactly right, and anyone who did not see that just had not learned to look properly yet." Ryan felt something break open in his chest. She was right. They sat there for a while, in the quiet morning, surrounded by the dead who had been loved enough to be remembered. Birds called from the trees. The fog lifted slowly, revealing a sky so blue it almost hurt. Finally, Daniel said, "I forgive you, Mr. Ryan." Ryan looked at him sharply. "What? I forgive you? That is what you came for, right? So I am saying it. I forgive you for being mean to me. I forgive you for making me feel bad. I forgive you for not understanding." Daniel's voice was calm, certain. "My mom taught me that holding on to hurt just makes the hurt grow. She said forgiveness is like pulling weeds. You have to do it before they take over the whole garden." Ryan's vision blurred. "I do not deserve your forgiveness. Maybe not, but I am giving it anyway, because that is what my mom would do." Daniel stood and brushed dirt from his knees. "Besides, I think you are going to need it. The internet is pretty mad at you right now." "Despite everything," Ryan laughed. "You saw that? My aunt showed me. She said there is a hashtag and everything. Justice for Daniel." Daniel looked almost shy. "I do not really understand hashtags, but she said a lot of people are on my side. They should be. You did nothing wrong. I know that now, because you told me." Daniel held out his hand. "Thank you for coming all this way. That was really kind." Ryan took his hand and pulled him into a hug instead. Daniel stiffened in surprise, then slowly, carefully, hugged him back. "I am going to do better," Ryan said into his shoulder. "I promise I am going to be the person you believed I could be." When they pulled apart, both of them were crying. "Okay," Daniel said, wiping his face. "But first, can we get breakfast? I am really hungry." They ate at a diner that served pancakes the size of dinner plates and coffee so strong it could strip paint. Daniel ordered chocolate chip pancakes and explained in great detail his theory about why corner pieces were better than middle pieces. Ryan found himself listening with genuine interest, asking questions, laughing at Daniel's animated gestures. When was the last time he had just talked to someone, really talked, without an agenda or an angle? He could not remember. After breakfast, as they walked back to the car, Daniel said, "So what happens now?" Ryan stopped. "What do you mean? With your job, with the garden, with everything? What happens?" "Honestly, I do not know. My publicist wants me to release a statement. My agent thinks I should disappear for a while. The internet wants me to suffer." Ryan leaned against the car. "But none of that matters as much as this. What do you want to happen?" Daniel thought for a moment. "I want to go back to your garden. I want to finish planting the wildflowers, and I want to teach you how to take care of them properly so they do not die like that succulent. That sounds perfect. But, Daniel hesitated, I do not want people to take pictures of me, or interview me, or put me on the news. I do not like attention like that, it makes me nervous. Then we will not let them. I will handle the media. You just focus on the garden. You promise? I promise. They drove back to Los Angeles in comfortable silence, the landscape shifting from flat farmland to rolling hills to the sprawling maze of the city. As they approached Beverly Hills, Ryan felt his anxiety building. The press would be worse now, the questions harder, the judgment more severe, but he did not care. He had found something worth more than his reputation. He had found a way back to himself. The scene at Ryan's house was exactly as chaotic as he expected. News vans, photographers, protesters with signs. Miranda was waiting inside, her expression a mixture of relief and fury. Where the hell have you been? I have been calling for 24 hours. Do you have any idea what kind of disaster I'm trying to clean up? I went to find Daniel, and I did. Miranda blinked. You found him? Where? Bakersfield, and he is coming back to work in the garden. Ryan, are you insane? The optics of that alone. I do not care about optics anymore, Miranda. I care about doing the right thing. The right thing does not pay your mortgage. Then I will sell the house. Ryan's voice was calm. I will sell the cars. I will downsize my life until it fits inside something honest. But I am done performing for people who do not give a damn about anything except their own entertainment. Miranda stared at him. You are serious? Completely. She closed her laptop slowly. Then you do not need me anymore. Miranda, no, it is fine. I am a publicist. I spin narratives, I manage images, but if you are done caring about image, then I am out of a job. She stood, gathering her things. For what it is worth, Ryan, I think you are making a huge mistake, but I also think it might be the first honest thing you have done in 10 years. After she left, Ryan found Jennifer in the kitchen. I heard, she said. Miranda just quit. I know. So what is the plan? Ryan poured himself water from the tap, something he never did. He always drank filtered, chilled from the special dispenser. I am going to hold a press conference. I am going to tell the truth, and then I am going to ask everyone to leave Daniel alone. They will crucify you, probably, but I have been crucified before. I will survive, Jennifer smiled. You know what? I think you will. The press conference was scheduled for the next morning on Ryan's front lawn. He did not prepare remarks, did not rehearse answers. Just walked out to face the cameras with Daniel standing beside him, nervous but determined. The questions came like bullets. Mr. Whitmore, do you regret your comments about Daniel? Yes, completely. Are you only apologizing because you got caught? Initially, yes, but now I am apologizing because I understand what I did was wrong, and I am asking you all to stop turning Daniel's pain into content for your feeds. What do you say to people who think you are just doing this for PR? I say they are probably right to be skeptical. I have spent my entire career manipulating narratives, but this is not a narrative. This is me trying to become a better person, and whether you believe that or not is up to you. A reporter in the front row raised her hand. Daniel, do you forgive him? Daniel looked at Ryan, then at the cameras. Yes, I forgive him, because my mom taught me that everyone makes mistakes. And Mr. Ryan is trying really hard to fix his. Are you going back to work for him? Yes, but not as an employee, as a friend. Daniel smiled. We are going to plant flowers together. The questions continued for another 20 minutes, but Ryan could feel the energy shifting. Not everyone believed him. Many people still thought he was a monster, but some, just a few, were willing to give him a chance. That night, as the last news van pulled away and the protesters dispersed, Ryan and Daniel sat in the garden watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of gold and pink. Thank you, Ryan said quietly. For what? For giving me a second chance. For seeing something in me that I could not see in myself. Daniel plucked at the grass. My mom used to say that the most beautiful gardens are the ones that grow after a fire. Because the fire clears away all the old dead stuff and makes room for new things to grow. Ryan looked at the garden around them, at the imperfect spacing, the wildflowers, the beauty that had emerged from his rigid attempts at control. Your mom was a very wise woman. I know. Daniel's voice was soft. I wish you could have met her. Me too. They sat in comfortable silence as night fell, and the garden lights flickered on, casting everything in a warm, forgiving glow. And for the first time in as long as he could remember, Ryan felt at peace. 3 months later, Ryan's garden looked nothing like it used to. The geometric hedges had been replaced with flowing, natural borders. The rigid rose beds had been interspersed with native California plants, sages and poppies, and lupines that attracted hummingbirds and butterflies. The lawn, once manicured to putting green perfection, now had patches of clover and wildflowers that Daniel insisted gave the bees something to eat. It was messy, imperfect, alive. It was the most beautiful thing Ryan had ever created. He and Daniel worked in the garden 3 mornings a week before the heat of the day set in. Ryan learned the names of plants he had never noticed before, learned which ones needed shade and which craved sun, learned that some things could not be controlled, only nurtured. His career had survived, but barely. 2 of his projects had been shelved. Several industry friends had stopped returning his calls, but he had kept the Netflix deal on the condition that he produce a documentary about employment opportunities for people with disabilities. He had agreed immediately. The internet had moved on to its next outrage, as the internet always did. Hashtag Justice for Daniel had faded from trending. The think pieces had stopped appearing. Life in its messy, imperfect way had continued, but Ryan had not moved on. Every morning he woke up and made a conscious choice to be better than he was the day before. Some days he succeeded, some days he failed, but he kept trying. On a Thursday morning in late spring, as Ryan and Daniel planted tomatoes in the vegetable garden Daniel had insisted on creating, a car pulled up to the gate. Marcus got out, followed by Catherine and Jennifer. "We brought supplies," Marcus announced, holding up bags from a garden center. "Catherine wants to plant roses, Jennifer insists we need herbs, and I am here for manual labor and moral support." Ryan stared at them. "You came to help garden?" "We came to be part of whatever this is," Catherine said, gesturing at the transformed space around them. "You are building something good here, Ryan, and we want to be part of it." Daniel beamed. "We have lots of work. Mr. Ryan still does not know the difference between annuals and perennials. We need all the help we can get." They worked through the morning, laughing and arguing about where things should go, getting dirt under their fingernails, making mistakes and fixing them. At noon, they ordered pizza and ate it on the terrace, surrounded by the chaotic beauty they were creating together. "I have been thinking," Marcus said, wiping tomato sauce from his chin, "about what you said at that first press conference, about narratives and truth. And I think I want to start making different kinds of films, stories about people we usually ignore, about the dignity in ordinary lives." "That sounds perfect," Ryan said. "I was hoping you would produce them with me." Ryan looked around at his friends, at Daniel, who was trying to teach Jennifer the proper way to deadhead roses, at the garden that had become something greater than he ever imagined. "I would love that." Months turned into a year. The garden continued to evolve, each season bringing new growth, new color, new life. Ryan sold his mansion in Beverly Hills and bought a smaller house in Pasadena with a larger garden. Daniel helped him design it from scratch, creating spaces for vegetables and flowers, meditation and play. They installed raised beds so Daniel's Aunt Maria could garden without bending. They added a greenhouse where they started seeds in winter. Ryan's production company shifted focus entirely. They began creating content about people with disabilities, telling their stories with dignity and respect. The first documentary, featuring Daniel and a dozen others, premiered at Sundance and won the Audience Award. At the premiere, standing on the stage beside Daniel, Ryan said, "A year ago, I believed that excellence required perfection. That strength meant never showing weakness, that control was the only path to success. And then I met someone who taught me that the strongest thing you can do is be exactly who you are without shame. That real beauty lives in the imperfect spaces we usually try to hide. That grace is not something you earn, it is something you give." The audience applauded, but Ryan was only looking at Daniel, whose eyes were shining with tears. Afterward, at the reception, a young filmmaker approached Ryan nervously. "Mr. Whitmore, I just wanted to say, my brother has Down syndrome, and for years I was ashamed of that, ashamed to bring him to industry events, ashamed that he did not fit the image I wanted to project. But your film and your story helped me realize that I was the one who needed to change. So thank you." Ryan shook his hand. "Thank you for telling me. And please, bring your brother next time. He deserves to be here." That night, driving home through the dark streets of Los Angeles, Daniel said, "My mom would have liked tonight. She always said that mistakes are just gardens waiting to bloom." She really said that? Maybe not exactly like that, but something like it. She was always talking about gardens and growing and giving things time. Daniel looked out the window. I miss her, but I think she would be happy that I found a friend like you. Ryan's chest tightened. I think she would be proud of the man you have become. You think so? I know so. They drove in comfortable silence, the city lights flickering past like stars. 2 years after the letter was posted, Ryan received an invitation to speak at a conference about inclusive employment practices. He almost declined. Public speaking still made him nervous, and the thought of discussing his failures in front of hundreds of people was terrifying. But Daniel convinced him, you have a story people need to hear, not just about me, about you, about how you changed. So Ryan went. He stood on the stage in front of executives and HR professionals and disability advocates, and he told them everything. The dinner party jokes, the dead succulent, the letter that destroyed him, the journey to Bakersfield, the long, slow work of becoming someone he was not ashamed to be. I spent 42 years building walls, he said. I thought those walls made me strong, made me successful, made me untouchable, but they just made me lonely and cruel and empty. He paused. It took a young man with Down syndrome, who society tells us is worth less, to show me what real strength looks like, what real grace looks like, what love without conditions looks like. In the audience, Daniel sat beside Maria, both of them crying. So here is what I want you to know, Ryan continued. Inclusion is not charity. It is not something we do to make ourselves feel good. It is recognizing that the people we dismiss, the people we overlook, the people we think are not good enough, they are often the ones who have the most to teach us about kindness, about resilience, about what it means to be fully human. The standing ovation lasted 3 minutes. Afterward, dozens of people approached him with their own stories. Parents of children with disabilities, adults who had been discriminated against, employers who wanted to do better but did not know how. Ryan listened to every single one. That evening, back in his garden, he and Daniel planted a new tree, a flowering cherry that would bloom every spring with clouds of pink petals. This is for your mother, Ryan said, as they patted soil around the roots, so she can watch everything that grows here. Daniel wiped his eyes. She would love that. They stood back, looking at the young tree, imagining the years ahead when it would grow tall and strong, providing shade and beauty and life. Thank you, Daniel said quietly. For what? For letting me teach you, for becoming my friend, for building this place where everything can grow, even the things that do not fit the plan. Ryan put his arm around Daniel's shoulders. Thank you for not giving up on me, even when I gave you every reason to. They stood there as the sun set behind them, two people who had found each other in the unlikeliest of ways, who had built something beautiful from the ruins of pride and shame. In a world obsessed with perfection, they had learned that the greatest achievement is simply to love without shame, to see beauty in imperfection, to make room for grace. And in the garden behind them, the wildflowers swayed in the evening breeze, their colors blazing against the darkening sky, each one different, each one beautiful, each one exactly where it was meant to be.